Thom Hartmann here on the news. You need to know this. As of today, more than 500,000 people have signed up for Obamacare. Many more people wanted to enroll, but they couldn't because of glitches on the healthcare system's website. On Sunday afternoon, HHS officials posted a blog saying, quote, "Unfortunately, the experience on healthcare.gov has been frustrating for many Americans," end quote. And on NBC's Meet the Press, Treasury Secretary Jack Lew said, "I think there's no one more frustrated than the president at the difficulty in the website." So President Obama announced that the administration has enlisted the help of some computer experts to help fix the glitches and improve the online marketplaces. Although the White House has not disclosed exactly who will be working on the site or how many glitches need repair, they described the new team of experts as the best and the brightest, probably average age 15. It may take several weeks for coders to find and correct the various problems, from people having difficulty signing up to computers communicating with each other among the at least 50 different states' databases. And the corrections should be in place for people to sign up long before the March 31st enrollment deadline. A project this massive is bound to have at least a few technical issues, but this is too important to give in after just a few glitches. In a speech this morning, the president said that the Affordable Care Act is not just a website, and that the essence of the law is working just fine. He added, "It's time for folks to stop rooting for its failure because hardworking middle-class families are rooting for its success." In screwed news, economists are warning about the danger of governing by crisis. According to Moody's analytical report expert Mark Zandi, constant economic brinksmanship is putting our economy at risk. Although Congress avoided a potential worldwide economic disaster, the short-term debt limit deal prevented U.S. businesses from planning more than a couple months into the future. Essentially, for all their talk about the danger of uncertainty, Republicans have left business owners far from certain about our economy. And Mr. Zandi said that the harmful effects of the latest shutdown, along with the looming fears about the next one, will mean a slow holiday season for U.S. businesses. On CBS's Face the Nation, Mark Zandi said, "I had expected the economy to pick up pace by the end of the year going into the next, but now I think that's very unlikely. I think we're stuck in this very slow-growth, lackluster kind of environment." Despite all the Republican warnings that Obamacare would destroy our economy, it appears that the Tea Party's hostage-taking actually posed the biggest risk for business. In the best of the rest of the news, gay marriage is now legal in 14 states in our nation. Starting today, same-sex couples are getting married in the state of New Jersey. Last month, New Jersey Judge Mary Jacobson ruled in favor of same-sex marriage, but Governor Chris Christie and Republicans in that state requested that the ruling be delayed. Last week, Judge Jacobson refused to delay the law, and today Governor Christie announced that he will not challenge the marriage equality ruling. Couples rushed to New Jersey courthouses this morning to be among the first to exchange marriage vows. Senator-elect Cory Booker even joined in by presiding over some of that state's first same-sex marriage ceremonies at Newark City Hall. Mayor Booker even got a little choked up during one ceremony, saying, "This is very beautiful." And he's right. It is beautiful to see any loving couple exchange vows. Some same-sex couples in New Jersey have been waiting years or even decades for the right to marry. Finally, after that long wait, same-sex couples in New Jersey will finally be recognized as the loving families that they are. Now, which state will be the next in our nation to ensure that everyone has the right to marry the person they love? Stay tuned. J.P. Morgan banksters are being forced to pay up. U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder has tentatively agreed to a record $13 billion settlement, and for once it won't absolve the bank of criminal charges. The settlement came as a response to several lawsuits against J.P. Morgan over the state of troubled mortgage-backed securities. According to the New York Times, J.P. Morgan's CEO Jamie Dimon and Attorney General Eric Holder personally helped put together the deal after the bank's initial offers of $1 billion and $3 billion were rejected. Sources close to the deal told the Times that despite the record-breaking number that was finally agreed on, Holder also demanded that J.P. Morgan plead guilty to a criminal charge in an ongoing investigation against that bank in California. It is possible that this deal could still fall apart if J.P. Morgan refuses to admit to criminal wrongdoing in the California case, but if it's accepted, it could set a new precedent for taking on the banksters. So far, 5 years after the too-big-to-fail banks brought down our economy with reckless and fraudulent trading, there has been little to no admission of guilt and very little criminal prosecution. The American people were forced to bail out the banksters, but the banksters were never held accountable for their actions. It may be 5 years later, but it's high time that someone be charged for crushing our economy. And finally, textbook publishers are standing up to religious crazies in Texas. Over the past few years, officials who approve that state's textbooks have demanded that creation science be taught in science classes. And for some time, it appeared that the textbook publishers were going to cave simply to hang on to that state's enormous purchasing agreements. Because purchasers don't often print separate books for different states, including creation in science textbooks, would have meant that most kids in our nation were being taught phony science. But publishers right across the board refused to print the creation story in their science textbooks. Teachers will have to leave the biblical story to religion classes and leave the fiction to Fox News. And that's the way it is today, Monday, October 21st, 2013. I'm Thom Hartmann on the news.